guys, Towers here. Welcome back to DMZ. We are playing on the PlayStation Network only now. We've got crossplay off. We are doing that so we can completely avoid the hackers, the aimbot and wallhack users. The game is still going to have glitchers, dupers, one-shot shotgun users, etc. But we can avoid the worst of it, the absolute worst of it. We can avoid playing against computers and completely dishonest people that have computer programs play the game for them. I don't understand. I will never understand that mentality, that level of dishonesty. But a lot of people who should know better are doing that. Fully grown men, you know. But we're probably going to be running solo here because not many of my friends have gotten the message yet about playing with crossplay off. I met all these people playing with crossplay on, so they're all over the place. They're PC users, Xbox users, PlayStation users, and only one guy on my friends list at the moment is on the PlayStation Network, but he is busy, so we're probably going to be getting into this solo. But in the hopes of picking up at least one teammate, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about tuning a weapon that we've already built out. We were working with the Advancer yesterday, and it's a very fun weapon to use. Does have some challenging drawbacks, but one of those drawbacks is its recoil pattern and fire rate. So you really have to be on top of your game aiming this thing. I prefer to build the Advancer in a very kind of fast mobile setup, but while retaining as much damage output as I can. So I don't have any foregrip options, any comb or stock options to directly mitigate recoil, any rear grip options. All I'm doing to mitigate recoil is just training with the gun and spending a lot of time with the gun, understanding how it fires. And the only direct recoil device I have is going to be my muzzle device, which is a Komodo Heavy, which only gives me horizontal recoil, and that's the only type of recoil I'm concerned with, because I already expect to be pulling down on the aim stick to compensate for vertical recoil. So I'm going to turn down the sound a little bit, take this into the firing range, show you what that recoil pattern is going to look like. Let me switch up. Let's see if we can. Okay, so this is the. So here I've got an untuned version of the gun, and here I've got a version of the gun with an old set of tuning on it. And I'm going to work towards a new set of tuning, more optimized tuning. But I just want to show you real quickly the difference between the two. So this should be the this should be the no tuning gun. And we'll take a look at this here. We can see it dancing left and right a bit. We can see it kind of kick up, turn to the right, and then go in mostly a diagonal upward left pattern. And we're going to see if this should be the one with tuning on it. I may have this backwards. This may be the one without tuning on it, because the oh geez, I'm gonna have to find a way to. Here you go. So here's what I'll do. I will put a different charm on the old tuning. There you go. I'll put this one on. Okay. All right. So let's go back in. So no tuning. And with the old set of tuning, see if this. It's not that easy to distinguish between the two here. Let's see, let's use the door. No tuning. Okay, and with tuning. Okay, you can see it a little bit more clearly here. So with tuning, with an old version of the tuning, we can see that it shoots a little bit straighter. And with no tuning at all, you can see it kind of dance left and right a lot more. So that's obviously going to be this is a reflection of where your bullets are going to be going, but it's also going to be a reflection of what your sight picture looks like as you're firing. So that's without tuning. So you should be able to see without tuning, the front sight post is going to dance around a little bit more wildly. So that's without tuning there. So it may be a little bit hard to see, but the sight picture while we're firing is actually less chaotic while we have the tuning on, and that's because the sight isn't bouncing around so much in all directions. But I'm not quite happy with how I have tuned this gun. I think I can get a more optimal tuning that won't sacrifice as much mobility and weapons handling unnecessarily. I want to tune the gun while retaining. I want to tune the gun for accuracy, but I want to retain as much weapons handling and mobility on the gun as I possibly can. So, so this is the gun without any tuning at all. And we're going to look at, we can't tune the magazine, but we can tune all the other attachments. We'll first look at the ammo type attachment and see if we want to tune it. We can tune towards recoil smoothness on the y-axis, the one that's going up and down on the left. But if we tune towards recoil smoothness, we're going to lose damage range on the gun. And we can tune towards recoil steadiness on the x-axis, the one that's going left to right on the bottom, but we're going to lose bullet velocity. So bullet velocity and damage range, I don't want to sacrifice any of that. I don't want to reduce the damage output of the weapon at all, just to make it more accurate. So I'm actually going to skip the ammo type tuning entirely, and I'm just going to focus on the muzzle device, the barrel, and the laser. So we're going to go next to the muzzle device, and we see that on the y-axis we can either tune towards aim down sight speed, make the gun snappier, and tune towards its weapon handling characteristics. But if we tune towards that, we're going to, the recoil is going to become worse. The recoil is going to become less stable. So we actually want to tune towards recoil stabilization on the y-axis. And the x-axis, the one on the bottom, we have a choice of going towards aiming idle stability or recoil control. And aiming idle stability is actually a very important stat. You don't want to ever tune away from that if possible. But we do have a choice of going towards direct recoil control, which will effectively delete the recoil entirely. So but we'll table that for a second, and we'll focus on the y-axis here for the moment. I am willing to sacrifice some aim down sight speed to get recoil stabilization, and that's because I do have an ADS laser which will boost my aim down sight speed. So as I tune this, I'm going to look at the graph in the center, and if we tune up towards recoil stabilization, the graph will pull down and to the left towards the recoil stat. And we can see that moving pretty clearly, but only up to a point. And we can see it pull away from the handling characteristic as it goes towards better recoil. So we only get better recoil up until about this point right here. So we know we can't slam it, because all we're going to be doing is just losing more ADS time. We're not going to be gaining any more recoil stabilization. And that problem is called a diminishing returns problem. So we're going to find that sweet spot. It seems to stop right about here. It seems to stop going towards recoil in this kind of area. So right there at 0.43 ounces, it's going to, we're not going to get the recoil to be any more stable, but we are going to continue to lose ADS speed as we go further north. So we're going to make a mental note of that number in case we mess up the tuning. So it's plus 0.43 ounces towards recoil stabilization. And now we're going to see if we can make any substantial improvement to recoil control as we tune away from aiming idle stability on the x-axis. We can see it pull away from our accuracy stat as it pulls towards recoil. We start losing aiming idle stability before we gain any recoil control. So before we confirm anything on the x-axis, we're going to look at our other attachments and see if we can gain back any aiming idle stability. So none there on the barrel. And we do have some here on the laser, but we'll have to sacrifice even more aim down sight speed. And we can see it pull towards accuracy before it takes away from our handling characteristic at all, which is good news, which means that we can afford to tune towards aiming idle stability. So we're going to go back to our muzzle device, and we are now definitely going to go towards recoil control because we know that we can get aiming idle stability back in a different place. And that looks to be about the most that we can possibly get. We're not going to get any more benefit by going all the way towards recoil control. So we're going to back out. We're going to save our progress now. All right, so so we've run out of room. We can't save any more weapons, any more builds of the same gun. So we're actually going to delete an old build, one without a laser but with a angled foregrip. We're going to delete this one, and we're going to rename this one to new tuning. Okay. Alright, so we've got our muzzle device sorted out. So since we've sacrificed some aiming idle stability to get direct recoil control, we're going to go to our laser first and see if we can get some of that aiming idle stability back. So it looks like in this case, if we slam it all the way, we're actually going to get a little bit more without losing any additional aim down sight speed. So we're going to take this into firing range real quick and just see what this ADS speed looks like. Okay, that's not that bad. So I think we will keep that for now. And on the y-axis, we can go either towards aim walking steadiness or towards sprint to fire speed, but I don't think trading one for the other is actually going to be worth it in that case. So I'm actually going to leave the y-axis blank. So our tuning on the laser is now done. And now all we have left is the barrel. So we can either tune on the x-axis, we can tune towards aim down sight speed or damage range, but I don't want to sacrifice one for the other in that case. I don't think it's worth it in that case either. So we're actually going to leave the x-axis blank and we're going to focus on the y-axis. And I think we're willing to trade a little bit of aim walking speed for recoil steadiness. And let's see what that might look like here. That's a pretty serious breaking point there. Okay, we'll make a note of this. 0.27 pounds towards recoil steadiness. And now we'll see what happens if we slam it all the way to the north. That looks like it might be worth it actually. So let's take this into firing range. Let's take a look at what this looks like now with the new tuning on. So that does look a lot straighter. If you notice this section right here with the new tuning versus these sections here, this with no tuning, that's a definite improvement over the no tuning, and that's even an improvement over the old tuning too. And again, if we look up in this section after this little break right here, it's a lot straighter and it's not dancing left and right as much. So that does look like an improvement there. So we're going to save that. We're going to switch to our wired controller, and now we're going to start training with it. So we'll now just compare to our old tuning. It is quicker to ADS with the old tuning. But not by so much that it's very noticeable. Biggest loss is probably going to be in the aim walking speed. even there it's not really noticeable. But we have made the gun a lot more accurate with this new tuning. So I'm happy with this tuning. So we'll take a look at the differences in the tuning here. So on the new tuning, we have not touched the ammo type at all for tuning. Where we have tuned it here, and we actually went towards damage range and away from recoil smoothness on that. So on the new tuning, we've retained all of that damage range, or sorry, all of that recoil smoothness without sacrificing any damage range. On the new tuning, we have tuned the muzzle, and we've gotten some recoil stabilization and recoil control, which is the most direct form of recoil management in terms of stats, where on the old tuning we didn't touch the muzzle device at all. And up towards recoil steadiness, and we've sacrificed a little bit of aim walking speed. And on the old tuning for the barrel, we did the same, but not as much. We went not all the way towards the top for recoil steadiness, and we chose to get a little bit of added damage range by sacrificing some ADS speed on the old tuning. So on the new tuning, we haven't had to sacrifice that ADS speed in that particular category. And for the laser, for the new tuning, we've gone only all the way towards aiming idle stability and a little bit away, and all the way away from ADS speed. And on the old tuning, we actually went towards ADS speed a little bit and away from aiming idle stability. So we went on the old tuning, we actually went away from a more accurate gun to a more snappier gun. So I think overall we've made a big improvement in the gun, and I think that on a weapon like the Advancer, it still is a relatively popular gun, so you will find it. You'll find an Advancer much more often than like a Geist, for example, or a Razorback. But it's not so popular that you won't find it lying around everywhere. Not everyone is using the Advancer. It's a little bit more of a high skill gun. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to take away all the tuning on all the attachments going to rename this as a blank gun. So now we're going to compare our new tuning with no tuning at all. Okay, so this one is going to be the one with tuning, the one with the cat charm, and the brass knuckles charm is going to be a blank tuning. So we'll take a look here at the blank tuning. So this is the new tuning, and this is without any tuning at all. So we can see that the new tuning gets us in a much more straight line here, diagonally, where no tuning at all, even though it actually seems to be more vertical, it kind of is dancing around a little bit more, left and right. So we can see with tuning, we've eliminated a lot of that left and right dance and that spacing between the bullets. So here's with no tuning at all. And here's with tuning. So it's probably hard to discern a real measurable distance as I'm shooting these target dummies. But we can see a difference here against the wall. So the reason it's important to practice with and without tuning is you can bring in a tuned weapon if you have an insured slot open. But if you don't have an insured slot open and you have to build the weapon out in the game at the workbench, you won't be able to tune it at all. So you'll have to be able to know how it behaves without any tuning at all. And so you'll want to practice both ways. So here we have a different build with a suppressor on, but I explained in a previous stream why we went away from a suppressor, and that's basically to get better weapons handling and mobility out of the gun. And if we choose a muzzle device such as the Komodo Heavy that gives us horizontal recoil control, we're going to get accuracy without having to sacrifice as much mobility and weapons handling. So we're going to get a little bit of a faster gun and really a more accurate gun too, as we get horizontal recoil control with the Komodo Heavy. With the Harbinger, we get, it is a suppressor, so we get sound suppression, but we're not really concerned about that. Mostly what we're getting out of the Harbinger is, in terms of accuracy stats, is going to be, or in terms of positive stats, is going to be added bullet velocity and damage range, and we do get a little bit of recoil smoothness. So we chose to keep this because it's just going to do a little bit of a different thing with the sound suppression, and we do get a bit of recoil, but it's also a little bit of a longer range gun. It might not be as accurate of a gun. And we would have to go and look at this tuning again, and this is probably not an optimal tuning, but we're just going to leave this for now, and we're just going to continue to focus on our more mobile build. And we're going to switch to a secondary. So this is going to be a more real world setup for in-game. If we have two fully built out guns, we'll take this into firing range and do a bit of a warm-up here. Dead slide. Sorry if you're getting some feedback from the mic. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, check. Trying to get this microphone feedback to go away. Alright, we're feeling pretty warm. Let's see if we have any secondaries to take in. I'll be right back. So we're gonna hop into Al Mazrah Solo. The only thing that's missing on this Phasna build is going to be the muzzle device, a Lacerda compensator. We're looking for some hydrogen peroxide to dead drop. Also need to get to the Zaya dead drop for a mission item. Looking for 2 more IFAKs for a stash expansion, but it's not a high priority. We're looking for a few more rolls of electrical tape for a higher wallet capacity. That is a high priority. And we're looking for blow torches, jumper cables, and car batteries for a higher contraband stash capacity. So we need hydrogen peroxide. We need to get to that Zaya dead drop. We need electrical tape. We need blow torches. do have a large bag, so we can afford those bigger items that don't stack, like the car batteries and the blow torches.
Welcome to Al Mazrah. Explore, secure intel, and loot to gain access to new missions. Enemy threat is high, so expect contact.
Wrong stat.
Activity is location. Stay alert. Ultra One actual. Enemy UAV is in the airspace. Ultra, be advised, killing operators will mark you as a bounty target. Ultra One, be advised, an operator in your area needs medical. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, actual. UAV is on station.
Moving here.
Ultra One, we're seeing increased activity in the area. Stay sharp.
Buy station marked.
Ultra One, actual. UAV is returning to base. You've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, activity has increased in the area. Keep your eyes open. Actual. Advise you equip your gas mask in this area, but keep your time on target limited. heading your way. Expect contact. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming.
Mid-cal round. Mid-cal rounds.
Ultra One, the chemist is down. Nice work. Ultra One, activity is increasing near your location. Stay alert.
Requesting recon flyover.
Copy. Advanced UAV entering the AO. Sweeping for threats.
Moving here. Moving here.
AO.
Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, actual. High winds are increasing in the AO. Move to an extract point before radiation spreads. Is inbound at this time.
Ultra One, Dino Force inbound for extraction. Be advised, radiation is coming in fast. It's gonna be a tight window. Ultra One, we have visual on the LZ. Keep it clear.
Actual, radiation is spreading through the area. Advise moving to an extract point.
Ultra One, Dino 4, we're standing by. Get to the extraction point now.
We certainly had some dupers in the lobby. Let's see, voice chat volume, master game volume. Crossplay. Master game. Voice chat. Sorry for that bump up in audio at the very beginning. I had added crossplay recently just to keep double and triple checking to the quick settings. I'll usually, when I'm in lobby like this, I'll have the master game volume turned down so you can hear me better. But since adding crossplay, it actually switched the position of the voice chat and the master game volume, so I accidentally was raising voice chat volume gradually instead of master game gradually like that. So I apologize for bumping that up unexpectedly, but I didn't want to be caught in my spawn adjusting toggles in my menu. I don't think anybody else in my friends list right now is on PlayStation Network, so I'm going to be continuing to run this solo. We're halfway there for wallet expansion. blowtorch out of that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 4 more rolls of electrical tape gets us a bigger wallet. Two more IFACs get us a bigger item and key stash. Got 10 open slots at the moment. I got a little bit. I got 14 open slots for keys, so that's good. We got to remember to go to the Zaya dead drop. Going to check. Make sure I have my tack build memorized. Let's see, I actually want to... Priority 1 is magazine size, more damage, and I can afford to miss more shots, but just you don't want to think about it like that. You want to think about having more damage at your disposal. I'm going to increase the accuracy of that damage with the Komodo Heavy. Going to extend the reach of the damage with the barrel. Going to make the whole thing a little bit snappier and more stable with the laser, and then I'm going to punch through cover with the AP rounds. I'm just going to double check that that is our current build, and that is it. Did that because if we end up burning through all of our insured slots, we have a bunch of tacks that we can build out. We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 more advancers I can build out also. Didn't end up putting a compensator on that Vaznev, but that's okay. We'll have to focus on a Vel build next. I used the Vel a lot in the past, and I kind of got away from it. I think the Vaznev is superior in terms of its damage potential. got a lot of LMGs left over from when I was doing hunting parties with crossplay on, when I was still able to play with all of my friends. But now that we're solo, we're going to be using a lot more ARs, so we have to focus on pulling ARs out of the game. We have to dead drop a couple kill streaks, but I don't really have any. That could lead me to chemical storage. Dead drop 2 kill streaks, dead drop hydrogen peroxide, dead drop selfies. To extract electrical tape, IFAKs, blowtorches, car batteries, cables. Contraband in the wallet, to me, are the most fun upgrades to work towards because those allow me to regain which relieves the pressure from fighting. If you know that you can, if you know it's not a big deal to regain, then you're not going to be playing scared and avoiding all the fights. You saw there in Corey, I took on a 2v1, and I should have had that second guy, but I was able to secure the first kill. Probably didn't even need to pop that Deddy, honestly. Could have saved the Deddy for the second guy, but I didn't know if they were together at that time or not. And I think I would have picked those guys up if they were cool about losing that fight. I don't play with proxy chat on, so I also decided not to chase once the guy got his buddy up. They were obviously not looking to fight, so I didn't want to force the issue. And it was also, I had one plate in the pocket, so that wouldn't have been a good fight to take anyway. I'm sure they were hurting for plates too, but he may have been able to hit the buy station before picking up his buddy, so they could have had a plate advantage on me. They definitely had a numbers advantage, but guys, if you haven't tried it yet, playing with crossplay off is the way to go on console, whether you be Xbox or PlayStation. You're gonna have a little bit better luck on a PlayStation because you don't have the Game Pass users that are able to fool the system into thinking they're when they're really playing on PC, they're fooling the system and into thinking that they're playing on an Xbox console. And PC is where the hacking is coming from, aimbot and the wallhack users. But as you can see, we still get dupers, and there are many glitches in the game that anybody can do, but these lobbies are way better.
Welcome to Al Mazrah. Exploring, looting, and securing intel will open access to missions and targets. Expect resistance from local forces, and watch for other operators in the AO. Ultra One, enemy threat is moderate near your location. Activity has increased in the area. Keep your eyes open.
Found the vehicle.
Hostile UAV overhead. Ultra One, an operator is near your location and requesting medical. Ultra One, an operator is requesting medical near your location. Ultra One, be advised, an operator in your area needs medical. Ultra One, enemy threat appears low in your area. Ultra One, we're seeing increased activity in the area. Stay sharp. Ultra One, an enemy Bashara is headed your way. The enemy's armored commander is down.
Moving here.
Enemy threat is moderate in the AO. Ultra One, be advised. Threat level is high in this AO. Expect contact. Ultra One, the enemy attack helo is moving in your direction.
شو اللي عم يصير؟
Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming.
Extract point marked.
Enemy threat is low in the area. Ultra One, extraction is inbound at this time.
All Ultra, Dino Force inbound for extraction.
Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming.
Dino 4, we're approaching the LZ now. Keep it secure for us. Dino 4 is holding at the extraction point. Advise you get here fast. Dino 4 to actual. All objectives, this is Dino 4. All Ultra secure. We're exiting the AO.
Stash expansion is done. Need more reputation for the next level for that. Electrical tape. Contraband. Okay, we got all the car batteries done. Awesome. Jumper cables. Blow torches. Jumper cables and blow torches. Electrical tape, blow torches, jumper cables. Okay. Electrical tape, blowtorch, jumper cable. Self-using hydrogen peroxide dead drop. No. Okay, well that's not bad. We can do that. guys, I'll be right back. Guys, I'm going to cut this here, take care of something IRL, and then I will resume with a part 2 shortly. Appreciate you tagging along. I hope you had fun, and I'll catch you guys very soon for part 2.